Solutions of Chapter 5, Princess September. Author of this lesson is Morgan Somerset. Question 1. How many daughters did the royal couple have? Answer. The royal couple of Siam had 9 daughters. Question number 2. Why were they named after the months of the year? Answer. The princes were named after the months of the year because the king and the queen had many daughters, and it confused the queen to have to remember so many names. Hence, the king decided to name the princes as per the months of the calendar year. Question 3. The king had a peculiar habit. What was it? Why is it called peculiar? Answer. The king's peculiar habit was that instead of receiving gifts on his birthday, he used to give gifts. Once on his birthday, he gave each of his daughters a green parrot in the golden cage. It is called peculiar because usually people receive gifts on their birthdays, but King followed an opposite tradition, and due to this, his habit is narrated as peculiar. Question 4, Part 1. What was Princess September's reaction to the loss of a parrot? Answer. Princess September burst into a flood of tears and wept continuously at the loss of a parrot. She kept crying, and even her maids of honor could not comfort her. Second part. What was her mother's reaction to it? Answer. Her mother declared it as nonsense, and in a heartless manner she asked the maids of honor to put Princess September to sleep without any supper. Part 3. What do the reactions indicate about the nature and temperament of each? Answer. The princess' reaction indicates that she was a very sensitive and simple-hearted child. That is why she cried over the loss of a parrot. The loss of a parrot filled her with grief. Her mother's reaction indicates that she was a little harsh and unsympathetic woman. She did not understand her daughter's grief and did nothing to console her. She did not think that the dying of the parrot was in any way a significant incident to shed tears. Question 5. What pulled the princess out of her gloom? Answer. The princess was really grief-stricken and depressed over her parrot's death. While the princess lay on her bed crying, she saw a little bird hop into her room. She wiped her tears and heard the beautiful song that the bird sang. This brought the princess out of her gloom. Question 6. How did the maids of honor come to know that the princess and the bird had become intimate friends? Answer. The next morning, when the maids of honor brought in the princess' breakfast, they saw the bird eat rice out of her hand and had its bath in a saucer. After that, the little bird sang a beautiful song, and the princess thoroughly enjoyed it. This showed them that the princess and the bird had become intimate friends. Question 7. The new bird was full of new songs, but the old parrots always repeated themselves. What did they say? The new bird sang a new song every time. On the contrary, all the old birds were trained to say two phrases in 7 different Oriental languages: God, Save the King, and Pretty Polly. They would say these two phrases repeatedly when asked. Question 7. What is the king's opinion about his counselors? Why did he form that opinion? Answer. The king said that the parrots repeating Pretty Polly in 7 different languages reminded him of his counselors, who said the same thing in 7 different ways and meant nothing whichever way they said it. This was similar to the way the parrots kept repeating what they had learned, without knowing the meaning of what they said. This made the king have a low opinion of all his counselors who blabbered about the same thing repeatedly. Question 9, Part 1. The 8 princesses made an offer to Princess September. What was it? Answer. The 8 princesses were jealous of Princess September's singing bird. Hence, they offered to buy a lovely green and yellow parrot to Princess September by putting in all their pocket money. Part 2. Why, in your view, did they do it? Answer. The other princesses made this offer to Princess September because they were distressed by the fact that everybody was praising Princess September's bird, which could sing new song every time. Their parrots looked sad and repeated the same phrase over and again. They wanted her to have the similar pet as they had. Question 10. What did the sisters advise the princess to do about her bird? Answer. Her sisters were jealous of Princess September's singing bird. So with an evil intention, they advised the princess to keep her bird in a cage so that she could be sure of where it was. Now let's move on to comprehension check on page number 43. Question 1. In the following sentence, elaborate the parts given in bold. Under the circumstances, it was a very unfortunate remark for the bird to make. Answer. Under the circumstances. After what her sisters advised her to do, the princess was worried about the bird. She feared that the bird might forget her or start liking someone else, and she would lose her pet. A very unfortunate remark. On returning, the bird said that it very nearly did not come back that night, as its father-in-law was giving a party and had wanted it to stay. However, the bird returned as he felt that princess might be worried if he did not return on time. This was the last thing that the princess wanted to hear, as it only confirmed her fears. Question 2, Part 1. What did Princess September do to ensure the safety of her pet? Answer. To ensure the safety of her pet, Princess September put it in the cage. Part 2. How did the bird react to it? Answer. The bird didn't like being trapped in a cage and felt as if he was imprisoned. He felt that he had lost his freedom and gradually stopped singing and eating. Question 3. Why did the bird refuse to be taken out in her cage? Answer. The bird loved nature. It was impossible for the bird to stay happy and normal if it was kept in the cage. The bird refused to be taken out in her cage because it was not the same thing as flying. It said that it would not be able to enjoy the rice fields, the lake, and the willow trees, as they would look quite different when seen through the bars of a cage. What persuaded Princess September to give the bird his freedom again? Question 4, Part 1. Answer. When one day she saw the little bird lying at the bottom with its eyes closed, she thought it was dead. She opened the door of the cage and took the bird out. Feeling its heart beating, she tried to wake it up and cried. One of her tears fell on the bird and it opened its eyes to see that it was out of the cage. It said that it could not sing unless it was free, and if it could not sing, it would die. This persuaded her to give it its freedom again. She feared that it would die in captivity. She wanted it to be happy as she loved it. Part 2. How did the bird react to it? Answer. The bird was filled with joy and happiness when the princess freed him from the golden cage. The bird said that it would come back again because it loved her. It would sing the loveliest of songs for her. It would go far away, but would always come back and shall never forget her. Then it opened its wings and flew right away into the blue sky. Question 5. Princess September kept her windows open day and night. Part 1. How did it help the bird? Answer. Princess September kept her window open day and night. This helped the bird as it could come into her room and leave whenever it felt like. Part 2. How did it help the princess herself? Answer. Sleeping with the window open provided the princess with fresh wind and natural light. It proved to be very good for the princess as she grew extremely beautiful because of the benefits of nature. She got married to King of Cambodia. Question 6. The 8 sisters kept their windows shut. How did it affect them? Answer. The 8 sisters who kept their windows shut grew extremely ugly and disagreeable because they deprived themselves of the benefits of nature. They were later married off to the king's counselors with a pound of tea and a Siamese cat. For questions to be discussed in small groups, please note it down also in your notebook. Question 1. Are the sisters unkind and cruel? Find evidence in the text to support your idea. Answer. Yes, the sisters were unkind, jealous, and cruel. When they saw that the Princess September's bird could sing and the parrots could only repeat 2 lines, they became distressed. They even offered to buy a green and yellow parrot for her. When she denied their offer, they convinced her into putting her bird in the cage. After she had put the bird into the cage, it stopped eating and singing. When she consulted her sisters, they said it would soon get used to the cage. They even said that she should be firm, and if it died, then it would be very ungrateful of it. If it was obstinate and died, then it would serve it right. When she set the bird free, they mocked her and said that the bird would never return. All these instances show that they were very unkind, jealous, and cruel. Question 2. Which to you is the most important idea in this story and why? First, importance of music. Second, value of freedom. Third, beauty of nature. Answer. The most important idea in the story is the value of freedom. No one should be denied of his freedom, Absence of freedom suffocates a person and prevents him from enjoying the beauty of life in its fullness. The bird in the story was happy flying. It sang beautifully and ate well. However, when it was caged, it became sad and did not eat or sing. It said that to sing it required its freedom, and if it could not sing, it would die. This indicates that the beauty of life is in freedom and not in captivity. So, dear children, keep your notebook work updated. Thank you.